1960, Tech had led for 50 minutes, 59 seconds. Back Bobby Skelton, in relief of injured Pat Trammell, led the Tide back from a 15-0 halftime deficit and set the table for Richard Odell, who had never made a field goal in college till 1960. Bingo! 1964, it was that fellow Namath again. In the final minute 20 of the first half, off a recovered fumble, Namath connected with David Ray for 48 yards. Steve Bowman dove in for the touchdown. Onside kick, Tide recovered. Namath on the mark to Ray Ogden to the Tech 3. Ray again for the touchdown. Tech was stunned. Final score, Alabama 24, Georgia Tech 7. One of my favorite pieces of football was Dave Nelson, whose humor and wit helped him follow Tom Harmon at tailback in Michigan. He brought us the wing T formation as the head coach at Delaware, and he succeeded his own coach, Fritz Kreisler, as the guru of college football rules. Well, Dave Nelson was clearly on record that Paul Bryant caused more rules changes than any coach ever. Not necessarily in what he did, but how he did it. '66 Orange Bowl against Nebraska, quarterback Steve Sloan to wide receiver Ray Perkins. That was the heralded combination. But double coverage has always left somebody uncovered, like a tackle named Ray Duncan.
Coach Bryant and Steve Sloan, the quarterback at that time, were the guys that actually planned it. And I told Sloan after the game, I said, my goodness, looks like you could have told me that you were going to call this thing, because we were playing on national TV, like I said, for the national championship, and we opened the game with the tackle eligible play, and when he called it, I almost didn't come out of the huddle because we were playing in front of 80,000 people and of course millions watching on TV, and needless to say I was a little nervous, but thank goodness I didn't have time to think about it at the time, primarily I guess because I was playing in front of a guy that night that outweighed me 80 pounds, so just thinking about getting my hands on the football meant I didn't have to block that guy.
There are two long burning series in the first 100 years of Alabama football. One of them against Tennessee. 1966 at Knoxville. It's raining. Kenny Stabler and Wayne Cook had hooked up to close the score to 10-8 Tennessee in the fourth quarter. Stabler then put together a brilliant drive, and with time running out, 4th and 1, Steve Davis nailed it right down the middle of the road. Alabama to the lead, 11-10. But with what little time remained, Tennessee came storming back and then missed a chance to win with a field goal try from the 3 as time ran out. '72, again Knoxville. Again, fourth quarter, and again Tennessee leading. Then John Mitchell recovered a fumble, setting up a 22-yard touchdown run, Terry Davis, and the Tide won it 17-10. 1973, opening in that one, leading to a 42-21 romp for the Tide. Gary Rutledge on the first snap of the ball game hits Wayne Wheeler. It's good for 80 yards and a touchdown.
The game's up to that point. We had opened the game with a dive to fullback to see how they were going to defense the wishbone, and so we just faked dive this time. And they just sucked up to the play, and then Wayne was, he was 15 yards wide open. I was almost afraid I would overthrow him. So it was just a perfect setup before that.
'75, the defense owned the drum. Roy Cook and Bob Baumhauer had the sticks and knew how to use them. Teen sacks, 30-7, Alabama. Didn't need brass nor woodwinds in that one. And so many others in this series.
First and 10. at the 30-yard line of the Volunteers. Here's Shealy dropping back, looking, throwing to Tim Travis. Touchdown! Tim Travis!
At its 10-yard line, Tootsie showing a six-man front. Play action done standing at his own goal line. Throwing deep down the boundary. Pierre Good wide open at midfield. He'll go all the way. Good will score. Touchdown Alabama.
Bama going to the shotgun here with the wideouts either way. Little Utah flip to Saran Stacy. He breaks free to the 40, to the 50. He's on. He's going to go. Saran Stacy. Touchdown on the little flip pass from Gary Hollingsworth. And listen to the party here at Legion Field.
This is for the win, folks. A 47-yard field goal. The spire. The kick is up. The kick is straight. The kick is good. Alabama wins.
When it's time for the Alabama-Auburn game, Legion Field becomes the Iron Bowl. I mean, the Vulcan fairly glows. If you came here from a foreign land for this game, and you heard Roll Tide and War Eagle and all the noise that goes with that weekend, you would surely think the Yanks have finally flipped. But we know, don't we? We know this is a great college football series. Let's go to 1960. The big play comes off Tommy Brooker's foot. 25-yard second quarter field goal. And then a tenacious Tide defense took things in their own hands and beat 8th-ranked Auburn 3-0. A score by the special teams got Alabama on the board against Auburn in 1964. Ray Ogden raced the length of the field on a kickoff return for a touchdown. Three big plays against Auburn in 1965 had one common denominator, Steve Sloan. He rewrote the series record book that afternoon with 3 touchdown passes. An 11-yarder to Tommy Tollison. A 33-yard strike to Ray Perkins. And a 29-yard shot to Don Schenkel. Alabama scored first, scored often, and led throughout. It ended 30-3, Bama. The offense and the defense shared the spotlight in 1971. Alabama had 2 men with 2 touchdowns each. Terry Davis and Johnny Musso. The defense destroyed Auburn's running game, allowing only 47 yards rushing. Pat Sullivan, harassed all day, had one of the least productive days of his college career. Alabama won 31-7. In 1970,